Welcome, friends. So, welcome to another episode of HR to CHRO podcasts. And today we have Mr. Yashpal Singh with us. He started his career with Colors, then he joined Wipro, then he worked with Canoplus Info, then Winfotech, then RWS, and currently he is CHRO at Sonovision. So, the journey has been very good and it has been a fast track career rise. So, welcome, Yashpal. Thanks for giving us time.
Thank you, and thanks for having me here on this platform, Amit. So thank you, and I think it's a great introduction, great journey so far, right where I've started. And obviously, when we were having the conversation offline, you had this question for me: how come I end up landing into this role, or maybe in this specific, the collaboration for the corporate. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to give you the insight of how I started, where I started, and I actually wanted to get into all this or not.
So you look very young. So I remarked that. So for a CHRO, you look very young. So that's a compliment, and that shows that how hard you must have worked to reach where you are. So let's start. So to start with, what is the secret of your success, Yashpal?
I truly believe that in order to answer that question, I think we need to go and step back and to tell you a little bit about what I really wanted to and where I have started, right? So honestly, as a boy, all I ever wanted is to kick a football. Always wanted to be in the playground. I was never a guy who wanted to sit in the front row, right, and just memorizing the textbook and all that stuff. So see, but again, it's like it ends up getting you into the different route. So started slowly, and I think the life has some other plans for me. Um, Gradually I got to know from the journey itself that the place where I really wanted to be, it is nowhere around me. So the things were more closer to the different route. So that's how I started, and honestly into the corporate, it was an accident, and it was just like filling the the last minute seat into the corporate. But the only thing which keeps me running through this journey right from where I've started from corporate till here is what I have learned from this sports and this consistency. And it was not about this ground, not about the teammates, not about the eco, but I believe the consistency was there. It is about the teamwork, it is about the strategies, and it is about aligning myself to at least reach to not to the CHRO, but step to step where I really wanted to see myself growing. The way I used to think, the way I used to play at the back, and in the front, and then started getting myself more on the front side of it. So that is how I'll end up, getting into this role.
See, one of the podcasts we did was Mr. Sahil Sharma in Red CHRO of Red Cane. So he started his career in operations
Uh
in
huh.
a call center, and then because he was good at it, he got into training, and then he got into HR, and he became a CHRO at a very young age. I'm sure of your age. So you also mentioned that it was an accident. Could we know more about that accident?
Amit, see, it's not just with me, and I think it's every one of us being an Indian that the parents, not just parents, I think even if we call ourselves at any generation, we still think traditionally.
Correct.
So, like, unlike other parents, obviously, my parents also wanted me to being like, and doing something really good in terms of their studies. And so I belong from a bio background, honestly. So
Okay.
I never thought of being into, again, one is football, then being from a bio background, and doing what, and in the back, and what I'm doing right now is completely like
Correct.
diverse.
Correct.
So, but like I said, it was not me who was like to always be in the book and study. My mother wanted me to get into something which is a so-called doctor, and in that degrees and all that. And obviously, it I was very sure it was just a waste of time if I would have done that, a waste of money. Um, so I used to run away from all that, right? And wanted to show it to the parent that if not this, I can at least do something and get myself aligned to some different stuff. So that's how I started, doing something. And my career has started as an PR, public relation officer.
Okay.
So it was in a media group, and so this I wanted to do that. I wanted to start that just because my parents, I want them to be calm enough to give me the space and, to buy some time, right? Buying a time with the same state of mind is again an art. So I
Correct.
had that art to calm my parents down, and then I never turned back. I'm still into this.
So good you didn't opt for trying to become a doctor or an engineer, and you did what you wanted to do. So how did the journey from PR to HR happen?
So, Amit, I think was always wanted to speak, like, this people skill was there from in school, and then public relation was the thing that I used to get a chance to talk to a lot of people. Um, and what is HR at the beginning of your career, right? It's more about the people. It's more about
Correct.
creating the company culture, and then how you talk to people. So somehow the seniors I used to report it to, and I used to work with. Fortunately, there was one role, and they wanted me to get into that. Slowly, I started enjoying it. I started as an trainee HR in a media firm, and that's how it started. And then gradually, I started feeling really good about it because it's more about talking people during those days when when you are in the initial days of your career, you have nothing much to do,
Correct. Much
and
better than sitting on a desk job and doing that, you know.
indeed. So, and I remember, and you will also agree on this, that those days the role of an HR was more like very traditional and not the front player of any company and organization.
Correct.
Uh, so yeah, that's how it has started.
Okay, so we talked about consistency. So I'm sure you must have been very consistent even in your PR role because this is how you impressed your seniors and this is how they showed you different doors because you were consistent and so something on consistency.
Absolutely. I think being into starting a career into PR is one thing, and then when you are in your social life, in your personal life, and when you are into the corporate era as well, in that environment, it's completely different, right? When you are meeting with someone for the first time, be it at any platform, at any occasion, first 50 second is very important, and person will create an impression whether that person really want to talk to you, and is he or she is curious enough to know you more. So I understood this very well at the beginning, that it's about keeping yourself polished every day and trying and learning the fact that it's not just about the degree all the time. It's about being present at some place and create an impact for the first 50 seconds or 1 minute can be really helpful. So my journey, to be very honest, Amit, I've been not reporting to any Indian from past I think 7 8 years, I must say. uh, so and what I've understood so far, right? It's not about for which region you belongs to. It's more about the way you are trying to get your work done, right? In more
Correct.
untraditional way. People feel bad about it, for for someone who could be brutal enough in talking and working openly. But that's an impression, right? That's your style of working. So I believe that consistency, that polishness, every day, and you think of getting yourself aligned to what the world needs right now. So that's how I started, and that's how I maintained it so far.
See, we have done around 20 odd podcasts so far, Yashpal, and I think two of the CHROs, they started their career in sales. Why am I saying sales? Because what you are saying resonates so much with me because I'm a sales guy. I
Uh-huh.
worked in the corporate world for 15 years. So in
Wow.
sales, whenever, and this is how I got into training because I used to train my teams of 100, 200 people, and this is how I got into training. So I would always tell them that the first impression you create in the first, I would even say 10 seconds or 15 seconds, is because everybody, all the sales guys in the world, they come and vomit out the same sales pitch. I mean, more or less
Absolutely.
the same sales pitch. So, how are you different? Are you creating that connection in the first 10, 15 seconds? So, this resonates so much with me that you made an effort to become better in that. And this is so powerful, not only for sales, for any department to create an
That is true.
impression.
That is true. That is true. And I mean, there's one more thing I think I have observed that. I'm sure you must have observed that when you go in some events, when you are in the office meetings, and when there are executive bodies and CXOs, and there are everyone is in the boardroom, right? And I was fortunate to contribute for the boardroom, in the boardroom, for different topics, right? You're not allowed to speak, and people will not hear what you're saying, your words, unless you're creating an impact. And then it's really about the way you are starting. People will start getting that
Correct.
interest. Your
Correct.
voice matters, your eye contact matters, lot of other thing other than your data. I mean, people talks about data, people talks about strategies, but that comes only after, when people would like to listen what you have
Correct.
in terms of your strategies and data.
Correct. Correct. So in case people are close-minded, they're not even listening to you. And whatever you say, it doesn't make so making that initial rapport is very, very powerful, very, very important. See, we during this discussion, we have also talked about teamwork and strategy. So how has this helped you? And I'll come to it. I'll come to teamwork and strategy one by one. But before that, you said that you have been reporting to, your reporting bosses are outside India.
Yeah.
And how does that culture is different, or that reporting is different from what you found earlier in India? So how you have to be more on your toes to impress those people, because I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. So let's hear it from your words, your mouth.
Absolutely, and I'm okay to talk very openly on this question, and this is a very interesting one. And then everybody has to understand the fact that being managing your people with no ownership and with no accountability will never going to help you to reach to where you want and what they want. So what I believe, and the difference what I have observed in my journey is working with the people, those who have a style of not micromanaging, giving the accountability of their people, giving them the ownership and the trust.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. When I talk about the teamwork and the strategies, you discuss the strategies within the team, and then you have those strategies divided into the milestone based on the skills and
Mm-hmm.
the capabilities, the ownership, what people can carry in within your team, within your department, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you give them the accountability, you give them the trust, right? You have to trust them, they have to trust you. And that's how your strategies and your teamwork can help you end up lending to the situation wherein you all will feel and achieve something. Unlike working with people more towards the towards our region, it's more about you know uh, bit of a micromanaging, not giving the ownership. It's about very untraditional, and it was long time back, and I can see and feel the change now, right? Because they have also understood that
Correct.
there's a different ways of dealing with the generation and the style of working. So that is how I can answer your question, that the ownership and the trust is something which can help your team to achieve something. And your strategy can work around, unless you have the team, your strategy will never work out at
Correct.
any organization, at any platform.
So what are the pitfalls? Why are people not that trusting? What is the reason that they are not able to make their team perform to the level that they should be able to? What are the problems that you have found in people, and what should they do about it?
See, I think failures and the loopholes, the scope are always there in any person, right? I can't say that, I'm perfect at doing something. I'm not good at maybe doing something, and it goes like everyone, not just you
Correct.
and me.
Correct.
And when you have the trust, right? So I have many incidents. It has happened with me, and I'm sure it happens with every leader. You have the team, you have the managers, you have the direct reportees, right? And they feel feared of taking the steps ahead, right?
Okay.
They feel feared to take the ownership.
Okay.
The reason, because they don't trust you, because they feel that if something goes wrong, then forget about the other people. It is you who will come first over his or her head, and you'll say, okay, why did you did that? Why did not you ask me this, right? So this way, it's very traditional ways of walking
Correct.
around and not helping your people in taking the step ahead, right? It okay, that's fine. If it's something getting wrong, it's fine, right? So you need to support them, and then you need to start giving them the trust that you should take a step ahead. We are there for you at the back, right? So I have done it. I have done a lot of things, the wrong thing. But my boss, my previous boss, right, he was keep on saying that, yes, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It's not just we are ending our day today, right? So you just think of getting yourself into that, and then if something comes up, you come and let me know. You just talk to me, and we'll find out the solution. And that's how I started treating my people, right?
You're making it sound so simple. I'm sure with the pressures everybody carries in the today's world, to be able to stay calm when your subordinate or your team member makes a mistake is it's not all that easy. And if you're doing it, you're an exceptional leader. And maybe all the leaders who reach a certain position have the ability to do that. So how do you stay calm when there is a mistake and there is so much pressure, performance pressure on you at the age and stage you are in a high level? How do you maintain that calmness?
I mean, I'm not a calm guy, but there's one thing what I always keep in my mind, that if something goes wrong, if there is any challenges happening around me, be it for the team member and be it for any of the meetings, and any of the things what I'm trying to portray to the management. See, I'll keep myself calm in terms of what will going to happen next. Nothing. Right? It is about keep on trying. It is about and see, I'm not a guy who will going to justify it again and again, right? I will try to fix that before I go and talk to anyone. So it's a simple thing that if something goes wrong, before you go and justify anything to anyone, you just try and fix it, and you're just trying to understand. So one thing is very clear. You need to understand one thing. What we have done has gone right, really right. If something goes right, then we are okay with that. Something doesn't work, then we need to think of what did not work, right? And we need to start working on that, right? Justification can't be like, oh, this has happened, right? No, you need to work on to understand it didn't work, right? We need to work around and to fix this. So in the dictionary, I think there's in my dictionary there are, we cannot call as a problem. There are always these challenges, and challenges can be
Correct.
overcome.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Very
that
nice.
that's
Very nicely
that's
put.
that's yeah. Thank you.
Very
So
well
that's how
said.
I think in this way. Yeah.
So, Yashpal, see, in my training, what I've noticed is uh, people who are not able to keep calm, the biggest reason is lack of security, because there is that element of insecurity, that fear of failure, that if this thing happened, then how will it look to my. So, maybe that insecurity, which, like the way you started your career, moving from one thing to another, from PR to HR, and you were always open minded, willing to take risks. So maybe that is why that sense of security, that inbuilt security that you have after having handled so many challenges and working with such big companies, and then staying on the path. So this is where the consistency maybe comes from that sense of security, by having taken those challenges head on, by moving from.
Absolutely, absolutely, Amit. And I think there's a thing, and then and it's not just about when we both are talking, and there are people in whole journey. There are people who wanted to know more about me, and there are people in my life I wanted to know about them. So one thing comes up very common is when you start overthinking about doing
Correct.
something, uh, then it will again not going to help you to take risk. And what is risk in our job, right?
Correct.
It is about bringing yourself more into other than your regular job.
Correct.
So I might be, for an HR, right? What are our regular jobs, right? Taking care of what is there in our job description, in our KRN and KPIs, right? But you start building it more, from you, and then taking a step and risk to present and to portray yourself, to bringing in value addition to your work, to your job. Then that's how people will see you differently. So we are getting paid. We are into this job. We are HRs, and we have certain border where we need to work and organize ourselves. But if you bring some value addition that other than your regular job, that's how people will see you. That you can be next, not just CHRO, you can be next MD, you can be next strategical partner of the company, you can be one of the valuable board of member of the company, or you can be end up doing something different what you have never thought of, right? And this is what we are talking about. I never thought of being into what I'm doing right now, and I'm sure about it that I'll bring that in me, that I really don't know where I'm going to land, after a year, after 2 years, right?
CHROs are continuously moving into CEO's roles because in the world we are living in with handling people or getting the best out of people, it is very important that CEO is somebody who, apart from business and finance, who also understands the people equation. See, so the coming back to this point, so to the young listeners or the people at the junior management level in HR who would be watching this podcast, how important would you say is challenging yourself at least in the initial stages of your career and not be afraid of taking risks and taking up different assignments or um, so some words on that.
Amit, and it's a very important thing while having the conversation you bring, and I think it is very common in some of the people, those who have started their career in HR. And I must say, it's not just in HR.
Everywhere.
Looking at the economical slowdown, the implication post-COVID, and everyone knows, how the world is, what we are facing into the corporate right now. People are actually feeling unsecured and taking the steps ahead because they really don't want themselves to be into the danger. But there's one thing what everyone needs to listen it very carefully, and what I understood it very well. See, unless you will show yourself, like I said, other than your regular job, if you're not bringing it any value addition to what you have been doing, there is no future.
Correct.
There's no future. So I must say that you being into HR, you're working at your initial career, you are just like in year experience, 2 year experience, but bring in something what other can't do. Maybe think of get yourself more into the decision making, not into the board and to the CXO level, but help your manager, help your lead to be more strategized in the approach, right?
Very nice. So start thinking from your leader's point of view. Start thinking from your manager's point of view. So this is such a powerful takeaway for the young HR professionals. See, what is your boss looking for? You will start thinking from his or her perspective. You'll obviously, what are the other ways that you can bring more into what you're supposed to do? See, you mentioned that you're good in talking to people or you like talking to people. So, in your career journey, was it easier for you to maybe talk to people in the business side of it, maybe people in the finance side of it, maybe people in the legal side, all the other departments, and as a result, because you liked talking to them, you were able to get their perspective, and this is how maybe this is one way of bringing out something extra than what your job requires. Is that one pathway to do that?
I mean, this question comes by your experience, Amit. I must say that, right? So, uh, I think, yep. So, unless, see, I'm talking to you right now, and I'm sure about it that whatever we are discussing is coming from both of us, the way we are communicating in terms of where we have started. Just because that I've gotten subject matter expertise in having the conversation with you, and just because you are having that subject matter expertise in having the conversation with me. So talking to someone is fine, right? You can talk, you can
Correct.
impress, by your eye contact, by your, the way you shake your hands, the way you carry yourself, that can bring in a different way. But unless you have the subject matter expertise on the topic on which you're going to talk to the person,
Mhm.
uh, you will not be able to achieve what you're looking at. So to answer your question, where I've started, I have started my career with an initial phase with some different profile. Gradually, within consistency, I've started learning the different verticals of the business and my job. Uh, See, I saw myself, during that time that I really wanted to get into this role and at this level. I've created more interest. Like I said, that I wanted myself to be more polished in the communication, having conversation, and being on the another level. So all these topics and the subject matter expertise and the consistency, along with learning all that stuff, it helped me to combine the PR skills, the people skill, and as well as the subject matter expertise to get on one level to another level. So
Very
answer the fresh crowd, that is not just about you go and impress someone. It is more about how much you understand the topic, how much you understand the business. Because unless you bring in the value towards your job, towards the time of the other person, then I think no one is interested. Not the employer, not even a person is interested in talking to you.
correct. So, how to know more about the business? How can a young HR professional learn more about the business?
See, I think people at any level, and I think 15-year experience, 16-year experience, and then people come up in the range of 10 to 12-year experience. I've seen that a lot of people change their careers also. The industry, right? They've been working in the industry, let us suppose in IT for so many years, and then they switch their industry, and particularly into the HR, right? What is more important for us to understand being into HR, industry is one thing, but at the same time, you need to understand that what is our job for any industry, right? To collaborate, to partner, to pioneer and deliver, right? So this is how it functions, right? You get to know about the industry parallelly, but at the same time, you need to also understand how can you partner well, and how can you pioneer, and then how can you deliver well, for your organization.
Very nicely put. So, we also were talking about mindset before, formally. So, how important is mindset, Yashpal?
So I believe the all the conversation what we had, and the way I've started in portraying all my journey, uh, the only one thing everywhere which I have not spoken, but it was my mindset. Like I said, that if I really wanted to be at home, and then I would have done that, right? My parent wanted me to be there, and then I would have done something different. The only thing which keeps me in the journey, the whole journey, is my mindset, to keep myself polished every day, and to keep myself growing. Whenever the journey allows me to do that, whenever there is an opportunity comes, that I wanted myself to grab that, and I wanted myself to be ready for that opportunity. It may happen that I will pass, I will fail. That doesn't matter, but I learn something about it. I'll understand the scope, right? If a mindset works that I failed today, then I will stop here, and I should stop here. I will not move from here anywhere, right? Because I'm not capable enough of doing that. It's not about that. It is about my mindset to fail someday, to understand the scope, work around it, and to move it to the another step.
See, I'm not a big fan of football, so I haven't read autobiographies of football players, but I've read so many autobiographies of cricketers and other sports. Cricket is one of my favorite sports. So they're the top achievers. They say that on the day of the final,
Yeah.
their mindset would be that they would be excited that I have to go and I have to perform, and there would be so many people televised live for so many people, and they would be excited. When you read that their autobiographies. On the other hand, maybe some performers who are not that good performers, they feel pressure. So cricketers have written about during captaincy that some team member would come and say that no, I'm not feeling well today. I think I should rest. I may not be able to perform on that big day.
Yeah.
So that mindset of a champion, that mindset of you said the person performer sees problem as a challenge, whereas somebody else who's not that good a performer would see it as a problem. So how to acquire that mindset to see something not as a problem but as a challenge?
There are a lot of people who will not understand this, and that is where the learning comes. That is where the experience comes. The day when you start thinking that it isn't problem, right? Then the problem will never going to get solved, right? And if you consider that as a challenge, challenges has the thing that which you can overcome. You can walk around and understand, like I said, that what works well for you in the past and what did not. If something works well, it is fine, right? If something doesn't work, then you need to find out and understand what are the scope areas, right? And the time you start working on the scope area, you will not find the challenges again, right? And you will move positively ahead in your life.
Correct. Very nicely put. All right. So, see, we have talked about consistency, we have talked about teamwork, we have talked about strategy, how to motivate your team, how to have the strategy. We have talked about mindset, how not to overthink, to take risks, and be deliver more than what you are required to do to come to the notice of the people. What else? So, what else is important for young professionals? We talk about mentorship, how important is mentorship, and how can a young professional go out actively and look for mentors?
One thing about not just for the young professionals and about it is more about the universities and the kind of, and I was talking to one of my friend yesterday evening itself, and from nowhere we started communicating on this topic, that it is actually happening with every one of us and to our kids and to the young generation, that the schools and the universities are still teaching in a way the way we studied, and
Correct,
what we believe, that whatever we have studied, we don't even remember even a single
correct,
chapter of it, and then whatever we are doing in our life, in our day-to-day life, is completely different.
correct.
So particularly coming back to your questions to the young professionals, be it any industry, but we are talking about HR, so I must just focus on HR. The traditional style of HR, has gone long time back now. We are moving into the different transformed world. Right? So, to all young professional, what you have studied and whatever you heard from from other people about HR, it's not the actual the way we operate ourselves nowadays in most of the companies, right? And the reason being, that is how the mindset is getting changed from the business perspective as well, right? So I sit in the boardroom here in my current organization, right? So which means that I'm bringing more contribution, giving suggestions, and the style where I have started is nowhere with me, and it is because there is no such ways of dealing the HR. Business sees in a different way. So everyone, the young professional, have to understand this, that you need to think of getting yourself being aligned with someone who you really would like to understand more about the journey you're going to start, or you have already started your journey. Then you can bring in more understanding of how the things are working practically, not just by the book, not just by the textbook, and not just by what you heard from other people, but to understand more about how the things are getting operated in the transformed world, majorly into the HR.
This is very powerful. You said even at the not only at the young level, at the starting level, even at above them, people should always look for mentors who can guide them about what is really happening and how to be prepared for that. What are the active steps a person can take to have mentors? How should a person go about it, especially a young HR person?
See, and people do approach, and they really, and people are curious. I mean, and everyone, I've seen that. So I think it's very important. See, people would like to know more about what they really want to achieve, but the way you are finding your interns and the way you are approaching to the mentor is also makes a big difference, right?
Okay.
Uh, I'll tell you why. I have, like, 8 to 4, 8 to 5 shift. I'm completely occupied the whole day, right? And then I have the family, then I have some friends, I have the free time, right? And all that stuff. Uh, and it's not just me, right? I really wanted to give more time to if someone approaches me, right? But I also need to understand from the other side of it that spending time with the person, it is he or she is really interested to get himself or herself into the business, and so there's a different ways around, right? And you need to look into having that approach is done in a different way, so that the person feel that he or she is really interested to getting into this profile, to know more about the business, to more about the journey. Yeah, that's how you can
So
put
maybe
it.
you need to be consistent with the right mindset. You first impress the person and then maybe approach for mentorship.
Absolutely, indeed.
So see, again we come to this question you just mentioned. I'll come back to the earlier what you said about some examples on the handling the various problems. But you mentioned that everybody, whether it's a young HR professional or somebody at senior level like you, so there is work which is to be managed, there is family, there is me time, friends, etc., and there is planning and strategizing. You spoke about strategy, so that requires time. So apart from your daily work, apart from your family responsibilities, apart from your me time, you also need time to have time for strategizing, for planning. So how can one achieve that? How can one do that?
Uh, if I talk in general and how it can work, right? It is very important to get yourself disciplined.
Very
Uh,
nice.
and I know sometime you feel that you're not having time, you're running out of time, you're late for the lunch, you're late for the office, you get stuck in the traffic. I'm staying in Bangalore, right? And will whoever will see this video can relate to this, right? So I mean, you run out of your time all the time, I
Correct.
must say. But if you get yourself discipline on at what time you are starting and what time you're ending up your day, uh, and then you can have that me time, that strategy time, that family time, uh, and that can be organized, and that's what I do, I think. And the strategies, like, strategy doesn't require you to sit with your copy and your pen, uh, and it is a mindset, like you rightly said, right? Strategy comes in your mind, you organized it, and then you form it, and then you started implementing it in the way, the way you want those strategies can be aligned, for yourself. So it can be done while you are driving, listening the music, and then the kind of music you like, and then you think about strategizing, what are
Very
you going
nice.
to do in the whole doesn't stop. That's how I practice, right? I play song. I probably sit in the office drinking hot water, right? I just feeling good about it, right? So you don't want time to make yourself strategize. The one thing is very clear, that you get yourself disciplined and maintain yourself and consistent yourself, every day, and I believe that the things will be done for you
Very
with
nice.
no challenges.
Very nice. Very powerful. So see, when I started my career, Yash, HR was seen as a support function.
Yeah,
And like you just mentioned now, you have a seat at the table and you are actually influencing the decisions taken at the highest level.
indeed.
Yes. So some examples on how your experience of people, relations, how did that help influence the decisions taken at the highest level in the right way?
It has happened many times. I will not be able to name the company, name the business, or the name of the person. But like I said, the post-COVID, the economical slowdown across the globe have forced the companies to change their plan, to be more strategized in a different way. What they have, because everyone has thought different, and then after that, slowly you have started seeing the difference, the challenges across the globe. So, uh, and to be very clear with you, it has happened with me very practically. Uh, Company wanted to move some business to some other region, not India, right? They had some other plan, right? But the person sitting at the top notch of the pyramid, right, wanted to speak to me at least for 5-10 minutes, and then very fortunate to talk to him. And then when we started having the conversation around, this is what he's thinking. I said, that's good, because you are the super boss, and it's again, you're sitting at a place wherein we can't reach, right? But at the same time, if you ask me, and if you wanted me to be on the call with you and then one on one, then obviously means that you want my thoughts, right? So my thoughts, that you will not come to the conclusion unless you have the concrete data around, in comparison, comparing the place where you really want to bring your business, to move your business, and the place where you have never thought of bringing the business, right? So And the reason he trusted me on that front, because he knew that I go at a lot of places, I talk to a lot of people, I travel a lot, and I'm being in the industry, and I know the business, right? So um, and because of this 10 minutes, when I went back with the data, he listened, he looked at the data, he understood it really well, and you believe me or not, the plan of moving that business to that original country has moved back to India.
Very
And
good.
I'm no more, so it works. It works. So when people see you, I mean, the small, small things can make the big difference in
Correct.
the way the person will see you.
Correct. So you already were aware of the data because it had no relation with your HR KRAs or directly related to your HR KRAs or KPIs, but you were aware of that data, and that
Indeed.
is how you were able to influence the decision at the highest level. It is so powerful. So HR has the power to do that if they have that mindset and they are consistent. So we also talked about being collaborative, partner, pioneer, and delivery.
Yep.
So break it down? So see, it sounds sometimes at the junior level, these words they sound very esoteric, very
Yep.
big sounding words. So at the junior level, and people at the junior level also should start working on these. So how would you break it down in easier terms for a person at a junior level in HR?
See, I think, Amit, honestly, when we teach at someone at a junior level, right, you'll go by some theory, but they will definitely not go and follow that theory, right? I think it has happened with me many a times because they have a different perspective. Even if you're trying to portray something to them, they'll think out and they think, they feel differently, they take the things differently. What I believe is first this will gonna start from us to our freshers, to our youngsters, in the young professionals, is to one thing, to start with one thing, that we have to partner well with them to feel them comfortable in owning the ownership and doing their jobs, right? So if we partner well with them, right, the deliveries can be done in anywhere around with a different milestone, right? So their job is to more about trusting themselves and to trusting their direct reportees, their managers, and within the team. So that's how you'll be able to deliver well for the company. That's how you'll be able to deliver well for yourself, and that's how you'll be able to grow in a short period of time. So skills, I mean, they are already skilled, right? We can't call them as a semi-skilled, right? They have
Right.
studied in the college, they have studied in the universities and colleges, so school and all that. So they're already skilled people. When they are moving into the corporate, it is up to them where they are, where they want to be in a what period of time. So once they have that stuff, they can grow themselves, within short period of time at a different level, at a different varieties, and they can also have the value addition once they understood this whole, this the whole circle of what is actually required from them to be in the corporate and to be, and to get themselves sustained also, right? It's a big challenge right now, getting your job sustained in any organization, right?
Correct.
So that's how they need to think over it.
It's very powerful. So, see, the first level manager, like you started when we were talking about the teamwork, you said that you need to strategize the goal and break it down into different milestones for different people based on their skills and their ability. So this is so powerful that in case you are connected with the people at the junior level in your team or even more junior, then you can break down their goals depending on their ability, on what they would like to what they would be able to achieve, and then do the goal setting for them. So then once they achieve this, they'll become more assured and they'll start trusting you more, and then gradually they'll be able to handle bigger and bigger challenges, bigger and bigger targets.
Absolutely. See, I'm sure that Amit, you know that when we talk about our objective, right, in any organization. So, for an example, being me sitting at the top notch of any department, right, my objectives are aligned to the company's objective and my boss's objective, right?
Correct.
And because he or she is the top of the pyramid, and now when we go at the bottom, right, so from there the objective comes down, and then my direct person who is reporting it to me has the common objective, which is slightly down to my objective, because I have the overall objective and the organization has the all 360-degree objective. When you are bringing that down in a pyramid format, right, you are aligned right from the ground level to the top notch of the pyramid. So you need to, we all need to understand, and that's how I take it, right, that whatever you do and whatever you ask your people to do in terms of the contribution, in terms of, be it like, to achieve that objective, this will go down as in pyramid. So everyone has to work together. That's how we call it in partnership, right, to
Correct.
achieve the common goal of an organization.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah.
And like you mentioned, being subject matter expert is very important, because only if you are a subject matter expert that you will be able to impress somebody in the first 50 seconds. So
Mhm.
that hard work is very important for a youngster at any level, but more so at the for the people at the starting level to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And this will go to not just at the young professionals. I think you clearly said, I remember about the mindset, right? Even if people are in the industry for so many years now, I'm sure they still would like to grow till the time they feel that, I'm done with my jobs, and then I'm done with the corporate. I'm sure anyone wants to be end up with a great role and a great contribution, right? uh, I feel people they still wants to be like aligning themselves to the next level. I think this excitement, this mindset, and all this really matters. And
Correct.
then you need to be motivated every day. Unless one day you will feel like not starting your day. Even if you are starting, you feel like not doing anything and sitting idle. And that's how you will end up doing unproductivity for yourself. You will not do and not support yourself, and then things will not work the way you really want them to be.
So I was about to ask something else, but you said a very important point: motivation, daily motivation. So how can one self motivate oneself day in
Started
day
doing
out?
what you like. I started things, so for me, coming to office, not just for the sake of coming, because I like to see myself, because if I'll not wear formals, for an example, right, if I'll not wear blazer, right, if I'm sitting and taking calls and then I've not organized in the way I really need to be, I will not feel good about myself, right? So do the things what you like, right? And start your day with the music. Start the day with your prayers. Start the day with something. So you need to come up with a freshness, right? And start doing whatever you like, right?
Very nice. Very nice.
So
See,
yeah.
one thing which is coming out very apparently, moving from one role to another, right? And rising the ladder of success. You haven't mentioned, but I'm sure you would have taken extra effort to invest in yourself to do the learning. That is how you have reached, by God's grace, may you continue rising. You have reached a certain level in a shorter time than normally it takes. So, how important is investing in oneself, learning new skills, improving the knowledge for a young HR professional, or even for everybody in any department?
Amit, it is important. I'm truly saying this, and for me, it is about not hunger. It is more about seeing what is happening around you. When I used to see people doing this, doing that, they're talking more about the things what I really want myself to be on, but I am not authorized or not having the seat, right,
Correct.
uh, and accountability to do that, right. So always think of, for me it was very important that if I really want to be and contribute at that level, I need to reach to that level. Doesn't matter I am capable of doing it now or not, right. So I see in that way, right. It is important for every one of us, and for at any experience at any level, that not so called as in hunger, but if you would like to be on something, if you would like to achieve something, you need to really after that thing, right. It will not going to happen the time you think that you will get that, right. Thinking and then running after to achieve that goal is very important, and you need to
Right.
see how you would like to run. Would you like to run within 100 kilometer per hour, or your speed below to that can also work around, and it varies from person to person.
Correct. Very nice. So music, you mentioned music to keep you calm. What else do you do? So you are very well maintained. So do you exercise, and would you recommend regular exercise, regular music? You also said prayer. So what are the things in today's world people at any level can use to, you know, help them with their daily motivation and stay healthy?
I think some people like to pray in the morning, right? And some people like to pray in the evening. Some people like to work out in the morning. Some people like to work in the evening. Some people doesn't like anything at all, right? So for me, I think running every day is very important. Not 1 hour, but at least half an hour, whatever the time I can get for myself. It is important for me to be consistent for on that as well. um, and this is an audience, this is a platform where I think I can be open in saying that you don't have just in prayer time, don't have just gymming time, or the office time, but you have some other time when you'll go with the friends and do other stuff.
Correct.
uh, we are living in a world that you will not get everything perfect in terms of hygiene, right? So it is important for you to work out, to give time for your body, for yourself. And also, praying every day will give you the peace of mind, right?
Very nice.
It will give you the peace of mind for sure. And we know that every single person of us, being at any level, any industry, any role, any location, really need the peace in this world. So peace will only come when you really pray. And I'm sure that it will give you a great happiness and you smile on your face all the time.
See, if I can add a line here, Yash. So what you are saying, see, we use mind programming techniques to help leaders and teams change their behavior. So what we do is we help them remove the blockages. For
Uh-huh.
example, one of the blockage could be that I can never become a CHRO for a young HR professional. Then why would that person take accountability, or in case that there is this blockage? So using these techniques, they are able to remove those blockages. Now
Uh-huh.
I'm also an energy healer. So from energy healing perspective, a blockage is considered as an energy block.
Okay.
Okay. See, so I'm having a limiting belief that I cannot do this, for example. So from energy perspective, it's a energy block which can be healed by giving energy healing. Right?
Okay.
But so where I'm coming from is, in my workshops, I tell them that prayer and meditation are the biggest therapies that you can, self therapies that you can use. So if you regularly pray, you regularly meditate, you chant, then all the blockages will be will be removed without doing anything. So what you are saying, it is so powerful. And not many people in today's world talk about the power of prayer, but it is so powerful coming
It is.
from a senior person like you. I'm sure this is going to influence so many people to start praying.
Indeed, and to be very very open and very brutal in saying that you do everything. Every one of us do everything, but at the same time, everything in our life, what we do has an importance.
Correct.
So, your me time, your prayer time, your job time, right? So, whatever you do, you just think about it that everything, whatever we do, is important, has an equal importance of keeping yourself active in your whole journey. Right? Prayer is important, your health is important, your job is important. I mean, there are etc. is important in your life, but everything has to be done within consistency. You pray for 1 day, you pray for 2 days. It's okay, I'm not getting a peace of mind, right? You need to think of doing it, and you started feeling it really well from inside.
Very nice. Very nice. So I think we have covered so many. It has almost been an hour, the time limit that we had set. So for people at the mid management level, what would be your advice to them?
People at the mid management level, I think I'll give this answer in one word, that start saying no to your boss. If you feel that something doesn't working out, and then you know the right solution for that. So never say yes. Bring that no thing in your journey, and make the difference for your junior and for other people expecting and having hope from you, because you are the
Very,
mediator.
very nice. Very nice. And that you can only do once you have proven yourself through the consistently performing well throughout your journey and having that. Very powerful. It's so powerful. People at the senior level
Start thinking untraditional.
go out of the box.
Go out of the box.
Very
And
nice.
never and do not pretend that you are thinking out of the box, but you actually have to be on the grounds to show it to your people that you are actually there to listen from them and thinking untraditionally.
Very nice. How would you say, how should the young HR professionals or HR professionals in general, accept or absorb the new technology like AI? How can they use AI in their day-to-day work life to perform better?
I think this AI has a thing wherein we will need another 1 hour, and particularly for the generation we are talking about. Honestly, but one thing I would really want to highlight for the young generation, that it is helpful. I mean, see, on the chatbot and on the chat GPTs, you see that you ask for one thing, you'll get multiple things. Then you again would like to refine that. So there are multiple ways, right? You can start learning, through those platforms. You can start having an understanding of certain topics, but I think if you're not ready to help yourself, that nobody will come in front and help you around. So these technologies can definitely, because in our time, I'm sure Amit, you know that when we wanted to learn something, when we wanted to get ourselves, we wanted to search for the people to give us
It
those
was so
answers,
difficult.
right?
Yes,
It was challenging for us, but now if you see that you don't need anyone, right? At least you will get a high level idea of what exactly this topic is all about, right? And
correct.
then it's a privilege for the young generation to at least having the high level idea of different topics, so make a use of it.
It is so powerful. Yes, there are so many examples which I can even give, but we have already, come to the end of our time. So it has been lovely discussing with you, Yash. So many insights, so many topics that we discussed. So thanks for giving us time. Uh,
Thank you,
uh,
Amit.
and I know
Thanks for
how.
having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yash.
Thank you, Amit. Take care, have a nice day. Bye bye.